And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Bridgette, I'm sorry, we're starting the day off with a banger. It's going to be a glorious day. Turn the radios off now, folks. No, I'm just kidding. Just got to ruffle your feathers a little bit on a Thursday.
You're all wound up today.
No one else is going to do it, so I'm going to do it.
I think Justin finally got plenty of sleep.
I'm not sure. I think it's the opposite.
You think it's
The inner animal's coming out today, folks. Watch out.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a great afternoon. It's 106 right now. That's about it. That's all I got. What do you guys got?
Windy.
Oh,
It is windy out there. I'll tell you, we were out filming one of our Here We Grow segments in the field yesterday, and it wasn't windy, but boy, oh boy, I was talking to Parker, and yeah, they're way ahead of schedule compared to last year, which is great news. Now, Bridgette, we had a couple of people text into the morning show with Kev. I was saying, how beneficial this rain is going to be. We're going to see widespread 1-inch rainfall across the entire area. And somebody texted in saying, that's not beneficial. We've had more than enough rain. I want to know where these areas are.
We've got folks that have who have said that multiple times.
Really?
So, if you get down to Fort Ransom, Lisbon, in that area,
okay.
Right now planting conditions are really good. And I don't just mean specifically to Fort Ransom. We're seeing that everywhere. Folks are seeding into moisture at this point. Things look positive. Now, does that mean that we want to shut off the rainfall once the crop is in the ground? No. But how our planting conditions are going right now look really good. You might see some dust behind tractors, planters, et cetera, as they're going down the highway, down the field, but that's okay. It's not, they're not slugged up full of mud. It's not like they're having to plant extra deeply looking for moisture.
Mm-hmm.
So in the grand scheme of things right now, things are going along pretty well in planting conditions. Folks would like to get a crop in the ground. And even like Parker said, they're ahead of schedule, but they want to keep it that way and keep the planter rolling.
Exactly. Yeah, it's they just issued a red flag warning?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
For Minnesota.
Yeah, so windy conditions out there, and
No time.
It's going to be a warm one today, though, with partly sunny skies. We'll have highs in the upper 70s. We're currently right around that 70 to 74 degree mark throughout much of the area. So a nice spring afternoon. You just might blow away, that's all. And then we'll see rain overspread the area from the south tonight after midnight, with lows into the upper 40s. And tomorrow, much cooler, with highs only in the low to mid 50s. On and off rain showers all day long, and that will continue into Friday night. Precip should shut off Saturday morning, leaving Saturday afternoon dry, but another system comes our way as we head into Sunday and early Monday with another round of rain and cool, with temperatures only in the upper 40s to low 50s. So a kind of a washout weekend. There will be some dry hours mixed in, but temperature-wise, not very pleasant, to say the least. But there are signs late next week we'll start to warm back up again, so that's good news. And
grab a hoodie. It's not the tropics. You'll be fine.
we had still snow on the ground last year at this time.
I think folks are forgetting it's April.
Yep.
It's only April.
It is. And we're going to have we're going to qualify you today for, well, let's see, Jay's $1,000 giveaway. We're going to we're going to qualify 4 people today for a rain gauge that we'll be giving away tomorrow. And what else do we have on the show today?
We have some
unfortunately,
great commentary. That's what we have.
Unfortunately, we don't have our guest today, and she's one of our favorites. That's Dr.
Right.
Emily Fox with the Ashley Vet Clinic. Emily texted me today. She's lost her voice, which is a problem in radio when you cannot be heard. So she feels terrible, literally and figuratively, that she cannot join us. But I am going to hold over our topics with her for a date we have coming up in May to have Emily join us again, because she's always got something exciting to share. My favorite days, of course, are the days when the two of you have to blush far more than I do. I'm okay with that.
What do we have to do?
You're not listening. Don't
Sorry,
worry about it.
I'm reading
Don't
new
worry.
advisories that are just getting issued.
He's
just
No
issued
problem.
wind
I'll keep you
advisories as
posted.
well until 7 o'clock this evening.
He still thinks it's Saturday for some reason. He's
wish it was
checked
Saturday.
out already.
Man, I just told you I was reading
It'll be
weather
fine.
So,
Weather stuff.
Bridgette, why don't we hit a couple of ag topics here before we go to break, and then we'll hit a few more of
Well,
those on the next segment as well.
before we do, I'm going to ask you. I just got a message that our planter is being switched over to do corn for our Here We Grow project. So things are happening. How was it in the field yesterday, Dean? You said it wasn't terribly windy.
No.
So progress being made.
Progress being made, and there's a lot of planting, and got to ride along in the planter, and Parker wouldn't let me drive. I told him that's probably a good idea. So, but the field, and Parker was saying this, that the field conditions are really, I mean, it's great. It's not overly dry. Obviously, it's not wet. It's almost like Goldilocks conditions, to be honest, for planting. And we got a lot done yesterday, and I know he's going to do more on our field today as well. So things are moving along.
And that's the case everywhere. As I drove back up I-29 yesterday, I mean, there were tractors, planters, all sorts of tillage equipment, a lot of fertilizer spreaders out as that work is getting done. I know of several folks who have been doing plots in the last day or two. So field work is moving at a pretty rapid pace. Let's say that much. I think folks are excited to get a crop in the ground, even though we hear so much about depressed commodity prices or concerns with interest rates. Folks always look forward to spring and want to get back out into the field. So I apologize to Sarah Levis, who is very busy mapping today for all of her customers. Sarah, I'm going to say it. Smells good, that scent of freshly turned dirt. I know I didn't say soil, but freshly turned dirt.
Dirt.
So yes, there's lots going on in the field today. As far as what's happening in ag, a couple of the things that we would have talked about with Dr. Emily today included follow-up to calving season. We just finished most of that. There's still going to be some spring calvers, people who are calving out on pasture. When it comes to making sure that all those baby calves arrive safely, I'm not sure if everybody realizes sometimes, just like humans, you got to give them a little extra help. So if you guys ever heard the term pulling calves, Bueller?
I've seen
Bueller?
it. I've seen it
Oh, yeah.
done.
Okay, you've been witness to.
Well, I watched Dr. Pole do it. He's really yanking on those things. Holy moly.
Well, we'll just see if we want to call it that. But was he using chains when he did it, when he pulled the calf out?
He's using chains, like a pulley system, and he's just yanking on it.
And that's all real life. So there really is a set of chains that you use. They're nickel plated. They're called an OB chain for calves. You can attach them to the calf if you see like a front foot sticking out, that type of thing. Because here's the thing to keep in mind. Calves are going to progress through the birth canal until they can't. Usually that happens if you have a large bull that was the sire, or if you have a younger cow who hadn't calved before. Maybe she's a first-time heifer. And when you have no progress being made, where maybe it's just a nose or the front feet that are sticking out, worst case scenario, it's the back feet because it's breech. And so you may have to give assistance to that cow. So you're going to wind up taking those OB chains. You're going to attach them to just above the fetlock, which is like the ankle. And you're going to, just like you said, Justin, use some pressure to pull that calf out.
Oh, yeah, it's pressure, all right.
If things aren't going and I mean, there's many steps involved. We got to have a glove on. We've got to make sure that we're doing the right things, because if you attach the chains too low, you can actually pull off a hoof. I mean, you got to be careful. They're babies. Mm-hmm. And when that's all said and done, if that set of chains doesn't work, there's actually something called a calf puller. I heard you talk about pulleys. So this would be sort of similar. I think of it looking like a great big T, where the bar of the T, almost what I'd call that anyway, goes across the back of the cow. And you're going to use that item and some extra force to try to pull that calf out. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to save the calf.
It's quite a process.
Cow. It is. So if you're watching Dr. Pole, you've gotten a feeling of what that looks like. But hopefully that season is a little bit past right now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have all those calves on the ground, gaining weight and doing well. That's what we like to see. Mm-hmm. So yeah, things are coming along well. Good. So, all right, that's one thing, talking about calving. What else do you want to talk about today, guys?
Well, we got a bunch of trivia we're going to do at some point. Probably do a little bit here in our next segment.
We'll hit our next segment with a couple of questions. We'll get hoping to get 4 people qualified today for our Friday rain gauge giveaway tomorrow.
I got a little story I want to share at some point throughout the show. It's not weather or agriculture related, but it's something I wasn't aware of that was happening, that was ongoing for a couple of years.
Oh,
I'd love to know if anyone else has had a similar exchange or something else similar to this happened to them. We'll run that down here in a bit. If you want to join the program today, ask some questions, join in on the fun today, give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000. We got to figure out what words we can spell with that. It'd be a lot easier to just say a word than spell out the whole phone number. Emails.
are you trying to confuse people?
No, I'm trying to make it easier on people. Email to the program is weatherorag@flagfamily.com, as well as live streams available there on Facebook, YouTube Live, Acres TV. We'll take a short moment here, get caught up with the American Ag Network. When we come back, we'll run down how you can win or get qualified to win a rain gauge. And we got another ag topic and that story. See if anyone else has run into this same kind of situation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. 1:21 in the afternoon, 73 degrees outside. It is windy. Windy out there, so hang on to your hat kind of day. And we got a couple things we're going to go over. First off, our first really, and it's not too far away, major severe weather outbreak is going to happen in the Central Plains tomorrow and into the weekend. So if you have any, if you're a storm chaser, you like to go storm chasing, tomorrow late afternoon, Nebraska, Iowa.
Looking
and same
dandy
with,
for NATO's.
Same with Saturday, too. Another round there on Saturday. So Central Plains getting just, they're going to get hit pretty hard tomorrow.
They're waking up.
Yeah.
Waking up.
So let's see. What else should we cover here? How about we get one qualifier for our rain gauge right now?
Oh.
Let's hit on that. So let's see if Bridgette knows this answer as well.
Already. What do you got?
All right. This is the most common and widespread of all weather-related disasters.
Oh, we're already getting callers.
This is the most common and widespread of all weather-related disasters. 701-293-9000 to get you qualified for our rain gauge giveaway tomorrow. And this is from Productive Alternatives, a heavy-duty rain gauge you can leave out all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is that would be Justin driving on I-29.
I don't know how to take that.
Good. Oh, man. We should just give Bridgette a rain gauge for that answer. That was perfect. Again,
Watch yourself.
This is the most common and widespread of all weather-related disasters. 701-293-9000 if you know that answer.
Hi there, caller. What's your name?
Twyla.
Twyla, what do you think the answer is?
With floods?
What'd she say?
What'd you say?
Is it floods?
Is it floods, Dean?
And you are correct, Twyla.
Congratulations.
So let's get
stay on the line here just for a second. I'm writing down your information. Trying to, at least, and not talk at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Because I can't do two things. But I got all your information there, Twyla. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Twyla. All right.
There we go. Well,
good deal.
Yeah.
Well, let's do your little story now. And Bridgette, see if this is...
This is a dandy.
He was telling me this in the weather office. I thought, well,
He's
my first...
sitting there shaking his head, and he's like, you know what? I hope that's not happening to me right now.
So what did I do? I checked my bank account right away.
Yeah.
Is this better or not than my buddy who rolled down the ditch?
Well, I
Not
mean,
that good.
someone rolling down a ditch drunk is hard to top. But in terms of stupidity, this one's up there a little bit. All right, so
bring it.
So I was digging around on my Amazon card yesterday, and I was just trying to, I was just going to go in there and, make my payments. I just paid almost all of it off. I somehow managed to rack up like a $1,400 bill on this stupid thing. And I get it all paid off, and I get back on there. And I'm like, man, why is this so expensive already? I've barely purchased anything through Amazon, and I'm trying to go through there and figure it out, and everything in the Amazon store cards, they're all coded out. So it says like AMZ PTM or something like that for Amazon product and payment, all this stuff, different codes, and I had to do a bunch of digging in there. Turns out I had a recurring payment of $11.99 for Paramount and Stars membership and a $17.99 monthly payment for Hulu on two accounts that have been inactive. Well, the Hulu account was inactive since April of 2021. So for 3 years, I've been paying this payment, which has gone from $12 to now $18 a month over those 3 years. And the Paramount one was over the last 9 to 10 months on a subscription that I never signed up for and never used both of them. While at the same exact time, I was paying a different Hulu account at $25 a month. So I had been using a Hulu account for the past 3 years while simultaneously paying for a second account over that same 3-year period without even knowing about it.
So, moral of the story, check your Check your accounts.
Do
Check
more
your
than
accounts.
just look at your account. I mean, make sure that you're not getting some stupid payments, because one was through a Capital One card and the other one was through an Amazon card. And between all the little things you buy on Amazon, you get hit with an interest charge here or there. You just don't see it.
Hey, guys, well, wasn't it you who earlier this week said you had to pay into your taxes because you weren't paying attention to your deductions, and now you weren't paying attention to your subscriptions?
How often do
I
you
have
look
some
at your
budgeting.
paycheck? Do you make sure
Wait,
your
you get
withholdings are
paid?
taken out every 2 weeks?
You get paid for this job?
I get paid in bubble gum. I get one pack of
yes.
5 every 2 weeks. You know, that
I'm
sensation.
sorry. I love that you're telling on yourself, and I'm sorry. I'll just come over and help you with your math, which because I'm terrible at it. So we'll be great together.
I mean, but yeah,
It's gonna work out good.
how often do you sit there and you look at your statements on either your credit card or your bank statement outside of just a glance, and you're like, yeah, that looks close enough. That looks about right. Or even your pay stub. I mean, how often do you look at each pay stub you get to make sure the amount is the correct number?
Yeah. Not often.
So I'm
That's
just
true, you
wondering if
better.
anyone else has run into this situation. You want to chime in on it, or if you got something that tops paying 2 Hulu accounts for 3 years and only using one of them. 701-293-9000. Because I know there's other people out there that have been paying for 2 or 3 accounts at the same exact time.
Well,
That's likely true.
what lesson
Yes.
did you learn from this?
Quit paying for streaming services.
There you go.
And okay, so also when it comes to checking things over very closely, this sort of ties over to a couple of our sponsors for our Here We Grow project, where we're custom farming 20 acres of corn. One of those sponsors is Red River Retention Authority. They're the folks that are double checking everything for you about where water is moving and how it's moving. And in fact, Brian Feuder with the authority is going to join us here in the month of May. He wants to talk about work being done on the Elm River projects, which affects a lot of us in this Cass County region in regards to what's going on with farming. And when we get years with a lot of rainfall or flooding, how that's also going to affect some of our farm fields. Our other sponsor to mention today is Gowan Company. Gowan brings us a product called Affiance. It is a fungicide. We're going to be using it in corn this year. You could use it in field corn and popcorn as well, which surprisingly enough, we don't raise a lot of popcorn in North Dakota, but we do in states further south where we might be listened to by some of our followers on Acres TV. When you are looking to use this in your corn, again, we don't use a lot of fungicide in corn in this region, but we could be protecting ourselves from gray leaf spot, rust, anthracnose, northern corn leaf blight, and northern corn leaf spot. So diseases you may not have heard about or talked about. Tar spot is one that is on our radar. We're seeing more and more tar spot move in from southern Minnesota as well as South Dakota. So keep that in mind as you're looking through your accounts, just like Justin did. You might want to double check your fungicides, and one of them should be Affiance fungicide from Gowan Company. Look, there we go. Couple of our Here We Grow sponsors paying attention to us right there.
Absolutely.
Indeed,
Thanks
they're
to
doing
them.
Good stuff over there. And speaking of one of our prior sponsors, Cheyenne Gardens, they were sponsoring our Cheyenne Gardens trivia that we ran for 4 weeks. And we were able to get 20 winners for $10 certificates to Cheyenne Gardens that are now active over the next couple of months here. There's still 6 of you who have not come and picked up that gift card. So just a reminder to you 6. You have a couple more weeks to come pick up those $10 certificates.
Do we get them?
I'm gonna go use them. But if they're not picked up by the middle of next week, I think I might just read all your names and phone numbers on the radio. Get you all dialed in.
Can we do that, or did you just give them to somebody else and say, "Oh, so sorry, missed your date. Now you have somebody else gets your petunias."
I would love some petunias.
We'll talk to Sophia downstairs, see if she can swing something there. But we're at the bottom of the hour,
Just take 'em.
so we're going to take a quick little break here to pay some bills, and when we come back,
Hulu
we'll get a
bills.
couple more people qualified for winning a rain gauge on Friday. It is Severe Weather Awareness Week, so that's what a lot of these trivia questions are revolving around, is Severe Weather Awareness Week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. We are so glad that you are joining us here today. And even though I'm not in studio, the guys are having a fabulous time even without me. You're welcome. You'll be stuck with me tomorrow, boys.
We're never stuck
Tomorrow.
with you. It's our pleasure to be
especially
with
tomorrow.
you.
Tomorrow's whiskey sampling, and if my timing works out right, I'll bring Pride Dairy ice cream. So who doesn't love booze and dairy products all together?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do.
Yeah, North Dakota Sweet Crude is going to be on with us tomorrow for taste testing.
Yeah.
Or like a taste chugging.
I have to Uber it home from work tomorrow.
I get 3 hours to sober up.
Everybody plan ahead for what's most important. Okay, safety first. Everybody get home safely. And while you're doing that, getting home safely, maybe you're sitting in the back of that Uber, you're checking mortonbuildings.com/careers. They're looking for you to join their awesome team. They want to make sure that they have more folks who can join them for on-the-job training, upward mobility, and a 100% employee-owned company. And they are having a great time. Getting ready to go out and put up more buildings. Maybe not on a day like today. Today might be a day that you get bad weather pay because you can't really build outside structures, do framing and so forth in some of this weather. Meanwhile, the rest of us, get ready. It's time to start doing another trivia question. What you got, Dean?
Well, it's Severe Weather Awareness Week, and we are expecting a possibility of a major severe weather outbreak tomorrow and Saturday in the Central Plains. Not for our area, but we're going to talk about tornadoes.
Yes.
The strongest August tornado to ever occur in the United States happened in what state? 701-293-9000. And I'll tell you what, if you could name the town that it hit, we'll give you a rain gauge, bam, today. So the strongest August tornado to ever occur in the United States happened in what state? 701-293-9000. We've mentioned it. I'll give you a clue. We've mentioned it on the air before.
Man, you give these things away like candy.
You hush.
We're going to have a chat after this. Hi there, caller. What's your name?
This is Greg.
Hey, Greg.
What do you think the answer is?
I believe that's Plainfield, Illinois, 1990.
It's coming out of your paycheck, Dean.
Wow. I thought that would be a stumper. Greg, congrats. How did you know that?
Because I'm kind of an aficionado.
That's
It's
yeah.
something that I've followed.
Do you subscribe to tornadotalk.com?
I do not. No.
You should look into it. If you're an aficionado, you will love that website, all right?
Yeah, Greg,
That's real?
All right.
Yeah, tornadotalk.com is a real
Yeah.
website. They focus on major tornadoes. They do whole breakdowns and talk about the entire event in great detail. It's great.
Yeah, that was we've mentioned it on air because that was my hometown. That's where and we witnessed this was before they didn't have Doppler radar back then. There was no warnings issued for the tornado. It was totally rain wrapped. So nobody got any pictures of it at all. And it just the swath of destruction it did was just amazing. Greg, we're going to put you on hold. Congrats on that. Actually, yeah, we're giving you a rain gauge today, so you don't even have to qualify. So, Greg, that was I thought for sure that was going to be a stumper. So, Greg, congrats, man.
Thank you.
All right, Addison,
thanks
can
for
you get
listening.
some more info from Greg? Awesome, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
There we go.
I thought that was going to be the hard one.
Looks like we can't qualify any more people since we gave our rain gauge away.
We've got one more. It's under your desk. It was yours. It's not anymore. Now it's going to be somebody else's.
Like I said, we'll have a chat after the show.
And what are you going to do? Should I be worried?
Nothing. I'm going to tell the 87 people on the other end.
Oh, man. So all right, we'll get one more person qualified as long as we have a little bit of time here.
Sounds good.
This is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters. This is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters. This will get you qualified for our rain gauge giveaway on Friday. 701-293-9000. Again, this is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters.
It makes you start thinking a
Bridgette,
little bit
do you know what
on
it
what
is?
it could possibly be.
I have a lot of incredibly snarky comments that I thought I should just hold back for the moment. But
Don't hold those back. Let them fly. Either
I'll
caller,
get
what's
those.
your name? Caller.
Lightning. Lightning.
It is not.
It is
it
not lightning.
It's not
Oh,
lightning.
no.
Good guess.
No, this is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters.
Either caller, what's your name?
Aaron?
Aaron, what do you think the answer is?
Is it wildfire?
No, it is
It is
not.
not fire. Good
No,
guess, though.
Good guess, though. Again, this is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters.
Either caller, what's your name?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Dennis. Is it floods?
It is.
It is not floods.
Flood.
No.
Good guess, Dennis.
Flood's the most common widespread of all weather disasters, but this is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters. 701-293.
How many
9,000.
different types of weather disasters are there?
Quite a few.
There are quite a few. What's your
I know
favorite?
two.
What's that?
What's your favorite?
Favorite weather disaster?
Yeah, I mean, like if you had to pick like one type of like,
Tornadoes.
I think tornadoes.
Yeah.
Up there with me as well. Hi there, caller. What's your name?
Byron,
Byron. What do you think the answer is?
I'm guessing tornadoes.
It is
It is not.
tornado.
Good guess, though. Good guess. Good guess.
Hi there, caller. What's your name?
Is it hurricane?
It is not
It
a hurricane.
is not hurricane. No. Man, this one is harder than the last
We're
one.
getting
I'm
'em.
surprised.
Hi there, caller. What's your name?
Stu.
Hi,
Stu.
Stu. What do you think the answer is?
Hurricane.
It is not
It
a
is
hurricane.
not hurricane. No. Again, this is responsible for the highest number of annual deaths among all weather-related disasters.
Hi there,
Stumping 'em.
caller. What's your name?
Don.
Don. What do you think the answer is?
Snowstorms?
It is not a snowstorm.
No. These are good guesses. We're running out of
Yeah.
options now.
Hi there, Twyla. How are you doing?
Hey, this is Carter, her husband.
Okay.
How does this work here? I think we're running into something, but tell me, what do you think the answer is?
Thinking heat wave.
I'll let you decide. I think you got to give it to him.
I mean, yeah, it's heat.
Yeah, it's heat.
It's heat. I thought you were.
Yeah, it's extreme heat. So
Yeah.
you've got good.
I thought you were referring to the same phone number.
Oh yeah, no. We never said one entry per household.
I mean, this is true.
we did not say that. So, so you want to get his information? Well, you, yeah, you got
I
it.
got it. What did you say your name was?
Carter.
You said Curtis?
Carter.
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 All right,
All
Carter.
right, Carter.
All
Well, I
right.
got your. Yeah, let me see. Copy, paste. There we go. I got your phone number there, Carter. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, Carter.
Oh, and thanks, Twyla.
Yeah, thanks,
thanks,
Twyla.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man.
Oh man. So, Bridgette, you want to cover one more ag topic here before we hit our break?
Well, why not? Okay, so most of you are familiar with silage, right? I'm sure that immediately comes to mind every day when you two come to work. What's going
It's
on with
right when I
silage
wake
today?
up before my feet hit the floor.
All right. Silage is generally when we take corn and we're going to ensile it. We're going to harvest that corn prior to us turning it all the way brown, right? I've had the question before from listeners saying, well, why do we wait until corn is dead before we combine it? Well, that's because then the corn kernels are dried on the cob. It runs through the combine, it thrashes out, and you can harvest the kernels is what you want. If we cut that corn before when it's still green, we can make it silage. Silage is a highly palatable feedstuff for livestock, particularly beef or dairy animals. When you pile it, you can also do it with sorghum and some of the other forage crops. But when you pile it up, it actually ferments slightly. So we're not giving them drinks, but what we are doing is giving them something that tastes much better because of that slight fermentation. When you're making those piles, because I've had people ask, what are those things when they drive by a farm? The pile of cut corn, and it's the corn, the stalk, the leaves, etc., are often surrounded by bales. They're put into a pile or maybe into a pit. A tractor's driven across them to compress it, to press water out, pack it tightly. Because when you start taking the pile apart, you're going to take off of one end, it's called its face, and you want the least amount of exposure to the elements so that you don't have any of the pile that rots. Kind of like, when we pile sugar beets and we don't want hot spots, etc. Same thing with silage. We're fermenting it slightly, but we don't want it rotting. Additionally, we have to be careful because with silage piles, there can also turn out to be some mycotoxins. And this morning, one of our other hosts on one of the morning shows asked if it was my toxin or his toxin. They're mycotoxins, not my toxin. And that moldy feed, that moldy feed can indeed cause problems especially for beef cattle. You can see lowered pregnancy rates if you have mold in the feed. Low performance, decreased conception rates, loss of weight gain. And weight gain is important in beef. That's what we're trying to do, is to continue to literally beef them up and get them ready for slaughter. Oh, that reminds me. May is beef month. Next week we'll be celebrating, so I hope you're all planning ahead for your favorite parts of it.
Are we having samples all month?
We should.
I'm going to need to find a lot more beef, guys.
I think we just got to get a sponsorship with a butchery or a meat place.
Right? Nothing beats fresh. Oh, man.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
How about if we have a little meats cutting class and we teach you how to butcher a beef?
I'm actually pretty good at cutting meat.
All right.
You used to be a chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to cut a lot of steaks back in the day.
But did you break down a whole half?
No, I mean, I would separate the sirloins, the ribeyes, and the New York strips, all that. But I guess I can't say I broke down like a whole cow or anything like that.
Well, I feel like a field trip is coming right along, guys.
Nice.
Given
Sirloin
time.
hearts.
Sharpen the knives.
Love it.
We'll be ready.
I'm not live streaming
But
that,
yes.
by the way.
Yeah,
Once we get started. Well, it would
Sure.
certainly be a lesson. I mean, there's area tech colleges that are doing 2-week certifications and longer classes in order to help teach folks to be better meat cutters and butchers.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right on.
We could learn here.
Well, we got to take a short moment here. When we come back, we still got some fun stuff in store. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to stay and find out. We'll be right back. Man, I feel bad for the listeners today.
Why?
Their fingers have got to hurt.
I
from
know. Lucky
putting
number
these-
7?
Putting these numbers in.
How about lucky number 7 today?
Number 7. We're being generous. Yesterday was 50.
Yeah.
Hi there, caller. You're number 1. You're number 2. Hi there, caller. Number 3. And caller number 4.
Getting close.
Caller number 6. I skipped over 5. Hi there, caller. What's your name?
Denise,
Denise, you're caller number 7.
Yeah.
Caller number 6.
that's what we're looking for, right?
That's
You
the
are
number we're
correct.
looking for.
Yes.
Congratulations. Well, thanks for listening and playing. You got yourself qualified just in time. The drawing is going to be tomorrow, sometime between 2 and 5 o'clock.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, hey, stay on the line here. Our producer will get a little information from you. We'll get you all qualified and ready to go, all right?
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right, good luck.
Right on. Cool.
All right.
We get to qualify one more person tomorrow for Jay's Tax Relief, brought to you by ATI of Fargo. They're the diesel guys. You got a diesel problem, they'll figure it out. As well as Coast Material. It's KOST. They got a lucrative opportunity for you. Visit their website, coastmaterials.com with a K. KOST. Not COAST.
And they don't-
Now I'm confusing.
They don't want you to rely on your own tax refund, so that's why they're helping sponsor this one from Jay. I think that's a great idea. Nice work, folks.
Right.
Mhm.
I could use that $1,000. Maybe I'll just ask Jay for if he's got any spare change in his pocket. He's probably got a couple of cool 500s in there.
Probably on a little mason jar buried in his backyard somewhere.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll hit him up later.
Yeah, something like that. Pay off my Hulu bill. That'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
Those 3 years of payments I've been making.
That's
that'd
your
be-
fault,
That'd
man.
be awesome.
That's your fault.
Yeah, that was my stupidity.
All right, Bridgette, a couple more ag topics before we call it a day today.
Oh, you're saying you're throwing up the red flag because it's that windy outside. You don't even want to talk about the weather anymore. Nice.
yeah.
I'm glad
he
this is all
he
on
waved
me.
the white flag, yeah.
Okay. Well, planting intentions are going to keep moving forward. Hopefully by next week, I'll have the updated USDA numbers and even just what's been happening locally in our area. If you guys hold off on that weather, this is just my prognostication. I think we're going to have probably 80% of the sugar beets in the ground. We'll probably have 20% of our corn acres. Soybeans may be similar. And I know that most of our wheat is actually in the ground, not statewide, but in our region for where we're at right now. In fact, I had a conversation from a farmer in central North Dakota day before yesterday who was very surprised. They're just really getting started on their wheat. So what you said, Dean, about what do you mean it's too wet out there? Well, there are some areas, you get into that south central part of the state, they actually have had quite a bit of rainfall. They're going to plant into good moisture and they're okay with it. They just got to get their small grains, their wheat and their barley into the ground fairly soon.
Right.
Because remember, no barley, no beer.
No beer.
Kids. We
That
gotta
wouldn't
make
be
sure
good. Hey, Bridgette, do you have any stats on where we're at for the northern and central plains compared to last year in terms of are we ahead of schedule, right on schedule?
Compared to last year, I think it's infinitely ahead of schedule.
Well, for up here,
I don't think
yeah.
anyone was in until like mid to end of
Right.
May.
I understand for up here, but like just the northern and central plains as a whole.
Well, right now, I think just last year across the board, we're ahead of the game, even what was happening to the south of us. Right now, you're listening to, okay, and this is going to be the snarky me saying that I hear farmers further south, you get into Iowa and so forth. Well, it's super dry.
It is.
Their dry is different than ours.
Mhm.
Okay, what we plant for versus what they plant for are two very different things. So we can't really compare that as apples to apples. They are moving ahead at a pretty good planting rate, but I saw a headline this morning, something about 2 of the top 5 corn planting states really don't have hardly any corn planted as of yet.
Oh,
So in some cases, they may be holding off. It's not a problem. So far, we'll get this crop in the ground. We
Right.
always do. Remember, it's what happens throughout the season. Do we get some timely rainfall? Are we heavily infected by too much rainfall? And then we start leading into fungicides where we have to spray for things like tar spot and other diseases. We could see white mold in soybeans and sunflowers. So we're hoping for the best, that we continue to see good conditions throughout the season.
right.
Speaking of sunflowers, we don't have great contracts. We might see a lot of sunflower acres down this year.
Well, and good news for parts of the central plains that are under a lot of Iowa's under severe drought, and these next 10 to 14 days, they're going to get hit pretty good with quite a bit of rain. So it might not be the best news for our ag community down there in terms of all that rain over the next, couple of weeks. But the moisture is needed down there. It's been very dry, and Mother Nature, thankfully, going to bring some much needed moisture to areas that really desperately need it just to our south.
Well, I mean, I had a farmer from Nebraska last night reach out with a question as I was driving back. He just said, my only concern is this is going great. What happens if we get hit with a hard frost in the middle of May, because we're going to have a fair amount of crop that's out of the ground.
Yeah.
My greatest concern there would be soybeans, not necessarily corn or anything, and certainly not with wheat. But we're just going to wait and see if that actually happens. So I'm relying on you guys to get this right.
Highly unlikely. Not this year. Just, not seeing that. Not seeing that at all.
Yeah, I would say that'll be a little bit different.
Yeah. The previous years, possibly, usually around Mother's Day, but not this year. Although, as we head later into the weekend, we got a couple of storms coming in, one Friday into Friday night, and then the second one coming in Sunday into Monday. I wouldn't be surprised to see some wet snow mixing in on that second storm Sunday into Monday, especially in the either late night or early morning hours as those temperatures dip into the 30s. So not looking for anything accumulating, but, just kind of remind you, hey, fools, it's still April. It's Mother Nature saying, it's not, we're not quite done yet. But
that's right.
I think once we get after these next two storms, by the latter part of next week, I think we're in more of a consistent, mild pattern where we don't have to worry about those morning frosts. So
yeah. Let the wind die down so we can get back into spraying some pre-burn down herbicides and spreading fertilizer, because this does tend to mess with your patterns when you're spreading fertilizer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Love this
there you
song
go.
so much.
Soak it up, Buttercup.
I'm soaking it up right now. You're ruining it.
That's right. Well, that'll do it for us at Weather and Ag in Focus. Have a great afternoon. The Jay Thomas Show, he's got some great topics today. He's coming up next.